Hello everyone and welcome once again to my channel. Today we have a quick video showing off Zelda Tears of the Kingdom running on the Yuzu emulator at 8K resolution and near 60 FPS. We hover mostly between 50 to 60. Keep in mind that because I am recording locally, I'm probably taking like a 5 to 6 FPS hit. So when I'm not recording, we are much more stable near that 60 mark. So we'll start with some gameplay here, showing off kind of how it looks and what to expect for performance, and then get into how to set this up for yourself. So let's bring it up in overlay. So we have kind of our usual VRAM numbers, percentage usage numbers, and then our frame time graph at the bottom. And we will head over here to do this camp to show how this performs in combat, what to expect. So it does drop occasionally into like the 40s when there's shader compilation, but that will only happen once for each instance, and the more you play the game, the better the performance will get. So we are getting some shader comp there. But as you see in combat, we're hovering pretty dang near to 60, and with VRR, I mean 50, 60 is fine. And we'll show you how to get that all set up. Got hit. Okay. But yeah, with the 8K, looks super crisp and clean.
Hi.
And this will only get better because we are running, you'll see in a bit, we're not running at a nice even multiple scaler of 4K. We're running at like 1008p due to the issues with 1080p breaking ambient occlusion and shadows to a degree. But okay, this guy's just giving us a quest to do the rest of these camps in this area.
Ooh. Hey.
As you can see, looks very clean. And more importantly, we're in that 50 to 60 range for the most part. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's go pick some peppers. So we'll start with showing you how to get this running for yourself. We'll see you in a little bit. So start with the emulator itself, just as kind of a disclaimer. Make sure you're only doing this if you purchase your copy of the game legally. There are plenty of tutorials and wikis online on how to dump your Nintendo Switch games onto your PC so that you can use them in emulators. So I would suggest finding one of those and following that if you're unsure. So once you get it dumped onto your computer, you're going to right click on the game, go to properties. It might take a second to load up. And we're going to change some settings under graphics. So doing GPU encoding, Vulkan, make sure Vulkan is set. All three of these checkbox sets, and we're doing exclusive full screen, 4x scaling with bicubic, and no anti-aliasing. If we go to advanced, make sure this first one is unchecked. Focus maximum clocks is checked, reactive flushing checked, asynchronous shader building is checked, and bulk input pipeline is checked. And you can turn on 16 times filtering as well. Now in terms of add-ons, I will link kind of GitHubs with that hold a lot of these down below. So we're using the 1008p because this is the maximum before it starts breaking, ambient occlusion and shadows, 60 FPS, anisotropic filtering fix, cutscene fix for the 60 FPS. So this kind of fixes the audio syncing issues in the cutscenes. A bunch of visual tweaks for FSR and dynamic resolution, as well as level of detail. I'm using a DualSense Western layout mod, so I can use my PS5 controller on it, and it swaps a couple of the buttons around to make it more Western friendly. Dynamic FPS is a big one, so this is going to sync your clock with your frame rate. So if you're not at 30 or if you're not at 60, you don't get weird sped up or slow-mo instances happening. 1024 shadows, the 1.1 update, and that's it. So to install your mods, you're gonna right click, hit on open mod data folder, and here's our mod folder. So anytime you download the mod, you're just gonna do that and then drag and drop the extracted folder into this folder. Okay, so that's Yuzu set up. Now, what are some tweaks you can do? So first thing is enabling DL DSR. So if you go to manage 3D settings, you're going to scroll down here in your NVIDIA control panel, DSR factors, and you're going to set this to 2.25 times. Deep learning. Make sure the deep learning is checked. This will only be possible on RTX graphics cards, unfortunately. So if you have 2000, 3000, or 4000 series, this will work great. And it is a pretty substantial image quality bump. So you're going to check that 2.25 times. And additionally, we can do some tweaks to the Yuzu. So you'll add Yuzu exe here. And we're going to do 16 times anisotropic filtering, overriding application settings for AA, and then we're going to do 8 times AA. You can change this depending on your hardware. If you don't have the headroom, luckily 4090 has a crap ton of headroom. And then you're also going to set the preferred layered DXGI swap chain at the bottom. Now once you do this, you will go to change resolution. So I'm currently set on native. I will show you a trick so that every time you open Yuzu, it'll switch to your DL/DSR resolution. If you don't do that though, you'll have to come in here and manually change it each time. You'll often have two if you have a multi-monitor setup. Make sure you're picking the one with one monitor. Otherwise, like if I pick this one, I'm limited to 60 FPS because the monitor it's pairing with is only a 60 FPS monitor. But proper one, we're still at 144. Okay, so that's all for that. Close that down. Now we're going to go into a NVIDIA inspector as well. So under global driver profile, we're going to scroll all the way down to extras. And we're going to find this one, DX present debug. This might be hard to see. But you're going to change this. I will copy and paste this value into the description. But it's 0x00080001. And then you'll apply the changes to that. And so where is... So I'll link all this in the description in the thing as well. So display magician, this will automatically switch between NVIDIA profiles for your display. So switching the DLSR every time you boot up Yuzu. So this is super handy. Recommend that. I'll link this in the description. This is a mod compilation package. I'll link this in the description. Many of the mods that I've highlighted are within this package. These are the latest early access Yuzu builds. I'll link this as well. We have the Xbox UI fix with 60 FPS black screen fix. I'll link this. And then DualSense if you're using that. And the anisotropic filtering fix. I'll link this as well. So the last thing that you can do if you're on any recent Ryzen, or probably even the most recent Intel with the E cores and P cores, so you can go into Process Lasso and find Yuzu. This is a fix that I've demonstrated to people before for other games. So you go to CPU Affinity on Yuzu EXE, go to Always, select CPU Affinity, and you're going to uncheck all these to focus it to one CCD if you're on Ryzen. Now if you're on Intel, you can probably get away with focusing it to only your P cores to get better performance. I've also heard instances online of people disabling hyperthreading or SMT to get better performance. But on my 5950X, I've tested just disabling SMT versus focusing to a CCD, and focusing the one CCD is about 4 FPS better, like 4 to 6. So I would recommend doing that. And that's all the fixes. So just to show you Display Magician, so you'll come here once you install it, go to Display Profiles, and then you'll have the NVIDIA control panel open. You'll apply the DSR profile, and then there'll be an option to save it. So you save it, then you swap to your native, and then you go to Game Shortcuts and you just create a new shortcut. So that when it swaps, can I edit this? Edit shortcut. So this is what it looks like. So you'll set your display profile. So we want it to swap to DLDSR. Don't need to do anything with audio. Don't need to do this. You're just gonna add the EXE, the Yuzu EXE, and wait until executable is closed, and then choose what happens, reverts to the original profile. So you always have native as your original, and it's just gonna swap to that. So then when you do it, you just have it on your taskbar, right click, run game shortcut, and then select your profile. And that's it. So I hope this was helpful in getting your game running a little bit better and looking better. Keep an eye on the GitHubs and Reddit and Discord. There's a Yuzu Discord. I'll link that as well in the description. As there's daily mods and performance improvements to this. So performance on this emulation is very rapidly changing. Let me know what you think of the game below. Let me know what you think of emulation. Is it ethical? Is it not ethical? And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.